Laboratories rely on many people to carry out the scientific objectives they set. There are many different types of scientists, and all their jobs are important, but today we'll focus on learning about in vivo scientists. In vivo means in a living organism, so an in vivo scientist conducts their experiments within living laboratory animals. Scientists may give the animals developing medications, take blood samples, or use imaging machines to see the animal's internal organs. Testing potential disease therapies and medications in an in vivo environment is a necessary step in the drug development process, making our scientists critical players in our community's health and safety. Let's explore the role these scientists play in laboratory animal science.
So a typical day involves a lot of mice imaging. So this imaging can include micro-CT imaging or ultrasound or optical imaging. But specifically, I do a lot of ultrasound imaging of mice hearts. I do a lot of translatable research, and I work with a variety of animal models. I use some of the same models and technologies and equipment that's used in clinics with human patients. So what this does is it makes the data that we generate have a very high impact in terms of therapies.
It really depends on the day. On some days I'll be performing imaging, specifically echocardiography, which is we take an image of the heart and then through those images, which is a series of movies or pictures, we're able to analyze them and look at systolic and diastolic function, which is the relaxation and compression of the heart. On other days, I'm in the surgical suite where we perform microsurgery on animals in order to develop animal models. And on some days, I'm simply helping my colleagues with their day-to-day work, be it dosing, tissue collection, or anything that requires aid.
My first laboratory experience was an undergraduate internship opportunity at a pharmaceutical company. This internship gave me the opportunity to run experiments, run different lab technologies, and other things like maintaining a lab notebook. And really, besides the technical skills, it gave me a snapshot into how the research pipeline works. And that really made me more passionate about pursuing a career in research. So initially, I didn't want to work with animals in research because I thought it caused them a lot of suffering. But being in the field, it's really awesome to see that there's so many checks and balances in place to make sure that the animals are very well taken care of and that they don't actually suffer.
I believe in order to get into this field, having animal experience is really important, but not necessary. As long as you're really willing to learn as much as possible in the job and start out in entry-level positions, I believe that you can integrate yourself in any part of the animal research field. You should definitely reach out and try and find a mentor that will be able to guide you through courses. You should try and participate in anything that will give you animal handling experience. Potentially look up vivariums where you can volunteer, or even animal shelters where you can volunteer. Having any amount of animal experience is extremely important, and definitely looking up ALAS resources will definitely give you a leg up when it comes to knowing what you need to learn as far as the in vivo world goes.
As you just saw, some in vivo scientists work inside animal facilities where the environment is very clean and controlled. They conduct experiments in labs that help create therapies and medicines for millions of people all over the globe. Other scientists, however, may work outside in the natural world with wild animals. Their science may focus more on the relationships between animals, people, and the environment. Let's hear from a scientist who works with fish around the Gulf of Mexico.
So ecology deals with the relationships between organisms and their environment, how organisms interact with their environment, how those interactions determine the habitat of a particular species. I was fascinated with fish from an early age, from going fishing, with my dad. Actually, I can remember going fishing as early as like age 4. I would see things, like before the sun even came up, that just fascinated me. Like I would see these little fluorescent, I didn't even know what they were. It turns out they were these things called comb jellies that, have these fluorescent little bubbles, different colors that kind of float around through their bodies as they're being carried by the current. But what happened is my interest in fish, and that early curiosity about the marine environment, developed into an all-consuming passion. I wanted to learn more and more about fish and about the places that they lived and their biology. Yeah, so I want to give you and your listeners a sense of, kind of like what we do. And so what I pulled out from our type room, it's a little fish, deep water shark called the pocket shark. Its body is black because it lives in deep water. There's very little light where it lives, and so that the black color helps to camouflage it. This fish has luminescent organs associated with its body. It can use those to make light, and that light helps to attract other kinds of fish to it. The other interesting thing about this little shark is that it's a member of the cookie cutter shark family. These sharks are so named because they have jaws that are oval. They can take a perfect cookie-sized little wedge out of a prey. What's fascinating about it is that this species is only known from one specimen, the specimen I'm holding in my hand. But one of the things we're really eager to do is to get back out in the Gulf of Mexico and try to learn more about this species.
Scientists plan and carry out experiments that improve the lives of all those around us every day. In vivo scientists must have a drive to advance scientific knowledge and an intense compassion for the animals they work with. This is simply one of many career paths offered in the Laboratory Animal Sciences. To explore other career paths, check out the remaining videos in the series.